See you soon.
And we are back at the 802, and we are joined here by just the loveliest person. Just the loveliest person. It's Julian, aka Cola Love. Welcome to the 802.
Yay.
Hello.
How are you, baby? Good.
I'm doing well, as good as can be considering RBG just died and COVID is destroying the world. But, outside of that, doing well. Just hanging out.
Outside of all these terrible things, everything's fine.
Everything's fine. We love to see it.
You do feel like if there was a true apocalypse and you ask somebody, how are you doing? We'd still answer exactly the same. We'd still just be like, yeah, outside of like there being no food and no water and also the disease and everything's on fire, I'm doing okay.
Exactly. I'm like, how much detail do you want me to go into? I mean, I haven't had sex since March, literally dying.
Oh my God.
No.
Oh my God, those sex toys you must be rinsing those sex toys.
Honestly, I need to recycle them. They're out of control.
Oh
I
my
think
God.
sex toys just go straight they go to the dump. What? Yeah, who's
I wonder
recycling
if
the material?
Are they recyclable? That's a story.
Well, it's silicone, right? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, but
maybe is it biodegradable?
Silicone. Is it going to be like someone buys something silicone and it's on the side it says this is made with 100% recycled sex toys?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Absolute madness.
I mean, it's definitely not compost.
No. Could you imagine a breakdown? You just go to the compost, you're like, oh, I've got to like fertilize some of my plants. And then you just like, oh, a little rampant rabbit just hanging out in the compost. No, just me? Okay.
Daniel, this is a PG-13 podcast.
Yes,
Jesus.
I'm sorry. To any kids listening,
is it?
please.
Okay,
No,
that's
it's-
a good question.
Is it fuck?
Can I cuss?
Is it fuck? Of course you can.
Okay.
Have you met
No.
us? Oh my God.
Perfect.
Yeah, we fully hit that explicit button when we upload, so don't worry.
Every week, every week.
So,
Okay,
Julian,
great.
I want to know, and the girls listening want to know, and the gays listening want to know, and if there's any straight man listening, I don't know why, but thanks, welcome, hi, enjoy. So, can you tell us the story of Cola Love and sort of how you got into drag and performing, and sort of what the story was there?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think before I went to Cola, it kind of starts with Julian. So I very much think they're both kind of two sides of the same coin, and Cola is very much just an out of this world extension of Julian. In 2014, I got this job offer in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I'd never heard of Ann Arbor, never been to Michigan, completely not on my radar, but it was a job offer that I couldn't refuse. So I ended up moving out there. And actually, the first time I got put in drag was for this job. I was planning a drag event with basically like very little understanding of what drag even was, and was putting it together, convinced 10 people, most of whom were like straight men, and was put in drag by one of my cis female friends. And as you can imagine, it was terrible. I remember looking at pictures and thinking, well, clearly this is not for me because I don't have the face for this. So
Aw, don't be silly.
it was bad. I mean, well, I think what happened was she really didn't put much makeup on my face. It was like mascara and like lipstick, and that was pretty much it. So, not quite the full thing. But I left that. I moved to New York City to a new job, and I found that New York City does something to you where you're just constantly striving for more. And I feel like how that manifested for me was just needing more of a creative outlet. And so it actually started very unintentionally. I was not thinking about drag at all, but more about makeup. So I was watching a lot of these queer and female YouTubers on online, like Jackie Aina, Jeffree Star. Please bleep that out. This was way before. This was like
Before she
2016.
was problematic.
Oh,
Before
she
she
was
was
problematic
problematic.
then, but it was before everyone
I
cared
mean,
about it.
she was. She was, but
Yeah.
I didn't know back then. Then she was just like a funny, weird person online, and was super inspired. I just like found myself, gravitating to these people, and very slowly I started to buy the products. I think I started with this powder foundation, and like started wearing it out every once in a while, and eventually I bought an eyeshadow palette and then a lipstick, and kind of it all snowballed and escalated from there. Um, at the same time, one of my best friends in the world, who worked in Ann Arbor with me, was moving to New York, and she also was a queen. Her name is Baby Love. She's famous, somewhat, in Brooklyn. And I feel like both of us really kind of like pushed each other. So the first time I went out in full drag was obviously, as for most drag queens, was Halloween. And I believe this was 2017. I did a Cruella de Vil look.
Ooh, iconic.
It was. I mean, it was, very understated. I think I did a very subtle foundation, some powder. It was my first time putting on eyelashes and lipstick and a black and white wig. And, to me, I was like, the most woman.
Hmm.
And yeah, and then it all kind of snowballed from there. The next time I did it was Halloween of 2018. And from that point is really where I kind of jumped in head first. One of the first few times I went out, and again, I'll send you pictures. The pictures are not great, but I ended up being featured on Vogue.com at this event in
Ooh,
Brooklyn.
bougie.
Hell, wait, your second time out and you're in Vogue.
This was like my third time out. It was
Oh,
ridiculous.
sorry, third time
Come
out
on,
and you're in Vogue.
bougie. Come on, bougie.
Anna
It
Wintour
was
saw some
ridiculous.
greatness there.
No, I mean, I don't know if Anna Wintour was involved on the website, but
Let's pretend.
definitely let's pretend. Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, I need to come here more often and get this validation.
Yes.
But no, ended up being featured on Vogue.com, and it kind of grew from there. And I think I just, this love for drag kind of grew organically. It started more with, the makeup, and very slowly I was, buying wigs, and it ended up being a problem. I feel like I would go out drinking, and somehow I'd wake up the next morning and find that I like spent $600 on a wig while
Oh my
while I was
God.
out drinking. Um, and yeah, and it's it's only grown from there, and the rest is history. And it's something that I've very much fallen in love with since then.
That's insane. I mean, it's insane to wake up 600 pounds down with like some fresh hair on its way.
Yeah,
And
damn
like,
right.
this is why I don't, like, I know if I come back just a little steaming, I do not open the Amazon app. I don't go on, like, I don't go Google shopping.
No,
There's no searches be allowed to happen because the things I would buy, I mean, you at least would use yours for like entertainment purposes and like performing, whereas I would just have ridiculous things in my house and no money and no food. So, well done. That's brave of you to do that. But
it wasn't the most wise, but I
who
have no
needs
regrets.
wisdom? You're gay. You don't need to be wise.
At least you didn't spend your money on like an OnlyFans account for someone else. You know what I mean? Imagine you woke up and you realize, oh, I spent $600 on an OnlyFans account of someone I don't know, and you subscribe a yearly subscription. Can you imagine? Like you're a gold member.
Hey, I mean, I would consider that part of my like health and fitness budget.
Yes, yes, I agree. I agree.
Yeah,
Get those
like
numbers up.
personal care.
Get those steps in from your bedroom.
Get those steps in. How do you do it?
I don't know. Anything
Are
is
you
possible.
pacing around the flat when you
Thi-
look
This
at
is
OnlyFans?
this is 2020, honey. Anything is possible.
I mean, that's true.
heinous thing as possible.
We are about to get stuck in the house again over here.
I know. God. Please don't
sake.
remind me.
So, cola. I'm talking about cola. Can I speak to cola? Is that okay?
Hello.
Oh, hi. How are you? Welcome back to
Hi.
my channel.
So,
Hi,
when you're performing,
it's Cola Love.
hi
Yeah.
Cola Love. Thank you for being on the show. When you're performing, what is the audience expecting? What are we? If we're going to a Cola Love show, what are we getting?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. So, a Cola Love show, and this is something I feel like over, the past couple years of doing drag, I've kind of found my own voice and how it's different from kind of most drag queens. And what I find is, so first of all, I have this kind of dark, very dark, dry humor. So a joke I would kick off with is like, give it up for the queens and give it up for Gilead. Which is, do you know what Gilead is?
No, but it sounds
No,
funny. So
I
please,
think that might be an American thing.
please advise
Okay,
us.
maybe it's an American thing. I can translate. So Gilead is the company that owns the patents for Truvada. And
Oh,
they're
okay.
Yep,
I'm
and
with you now.
they're pretty evil. They like charge thousands of dollars for I think a 30-day dose for Truvada. So it's kind of a pretty controversial company here,
Yeah.
and like pretty, they've been really harmful to black and brown people of color. But things like that where I love to play around controversy and play into jokes. So performances, I would put together like a monologue maybe from like Game of Thrones and mix that into Girl on Fire with Alicia Keys. So yeah, I like to play around with the humor. And the controversy, and while at the same time, like I say, Cola is very much like my inspiration is 90s supermodel, but like when I say that, I mainly mean Naomi Campbell. So I loses and face, and with kind of what's topical and what's relevant in pop culture.
I see.
Can you just say that last bit again? You kind of cut in and out.
Oh, I was just saying I play around with controversy and pop culture and give face and all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Tell me.
Is it pronounced Gilead?
Yep.
Because my dumbass has been walking around calling it Gilead.
Oh no.
And now I'm concerned that like Gillette, like the razors, might be called like Gilead, and I've just been dumb.
Well, for some odd reason. Yeah, for some odd reason, I always thought Gilead was actually it's actually a place in the Bible as well, and it's also I also do you watch *Handmaid's Tale*? I swear Gilead is something about the *Handmaid's Tale* as well, because that's where they live. Yeah, that's where they live. Yeah, so that's what I thought. So I was really wrong. Oh well, the more I know, the more I know. So this is good. So the 802 is not only funny, but we're also educational. Well, thank you for that, Cola Love. So there you go. Teach the children, honey. Teach the children.
I will be sending you a Venmo request right after this.
Yes.
I can promise you the request will be denied.
We only take Cash App.
So we are in COVID times. We're in the time of COVID. Which means everything is either shut or not the same, or everyone has to be distant, at least in this country, seeing from over in the US is different. And you are our first, can we give a little shout out? You are our first ever US guest. We've had Canadians before, right, Nick? But no one from the US?
We have. No, we haven't had anyone from the US, which is good. We only had Canada so far, so that's been really lovely. I think that's it.
I am honored. Thank you.
Amazing.
Thanks for inviting me. And when you reached out, I immediately, and I'm such a fan of the podcast. I immediately thought about Alexis Stone being like, "Well, your guests are gonna go downhill from here," and it's like,
Yeah.
perfect.
No,
Yeah,
no,
she
no.
wasn't wrong. But no,
No, don't be
I'm
silly.
honored, and thank you for having me.
Yeah.
So I want to know what are the venues that or the parties in New York that you are missing the most during the times of the Rona while we're sat in the house and not doing much else.
Yeah. I'd say the parties and venues I'm missing the most, over the past 2 years or so. So when I first moved to New York, I lived in the West Village in Manhattan, and it's a very different scene than I currently live in Brooklyn than where I live now. And the Manhattan scene is, you know, there are more of these like big, huge venues.
Mm.
So kind of, I consider a parallel to like a Heaven or like a GAY,
Yeah.
um, where it's just like kind of a lot of pop music. It's very, very white. And so venues like Therapy, there's this really cool party actually in Manhattan that, sometimes actually moved to Brooklyn called Battle Hymn.
Hmm.
And for the most part, it took place in this kind of reclaimed church and it happened on Sundays. And so it was almost like this super religious experience. And it was put on by a woman called Lady Thag.
Oh, love
So
it.
do you know Lady Thag?
No, the name itself is just iconic. So whoever
I
she is, I
know,
love the name.
I know. Isn't it so good?
It's so good.
Yeah. So I loved all the Lady Flag parties. The other person who put on some really great parties in New York is Suzanne Barch, and she's probably maybe more well known. She was a guest judge on um, Dog's Chase on Drag Race. I call it Dog's Chase every once in a while. Um,
Mm.
so
I have a question about this, but let me let you finish.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. No, Suzanne Barch, and it kind of, to me, represented and kind of harkened back to what I would have imagined places like Studio 54 were like. Um, just like disco music, like a lot of club kids, pretty just like wacky. Like people would just bring looks, and that was like my first kind of clubbing experience in New York, and I will always, have a special place in my heart for those places. But more recently, I mainly go out in Brooklyn, and I mainly go out to kind of a handful of, I think there are like 3 or 4 bars that I kind of consistently go to, and it's just more of kind of a neighborhood experience. Like all of them have patios, and they'll have like stages and huge dance floors, and it's just such an inclusive space. And that's also kind of where over the past couple of years I've gotten even closer to drag, is because it's this just super queer, super inclusive, a lot more diverse. And it kind of is, you get the same faces that go every weekend. And so you start to know everyone and expect, to see people there. So those are the spaces I'd say I miss the most currently, is kind of just like my neighborhood bars in Brooklyn that are just really cute.
Nice, nice. Do you know what? I always always seen like every single time a New York queen like is talking about, New York on Drag Race itself. They're always like, New York is where it's at, New York's where it's at. I know for a fact, my mom, I know she's probably listening, my mom has actually been to see Bob's show on a Monday, I think, in New York before
Nice.
COVID. Yeah, and she
Yeah.
said it's really, really good. And my mom is a massive fan of like the culture of drag, because she's lived through the era of seeing drag being a statement of resilience from a very early age. So I know for a
Yeah.
fact New York has been like the New York drag scene is not only just a drag scene. I'm gonna say this, you can correct me if I'm wrong. It's more of a community as well. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really truly is. Which, you wouldn't think that because it's huge. It's like
Yeah,
it's such a huge city, and it's such a city that like, people come and go. So,
yeah,
I mean, people, tend to stay, I think, for maybe a few years, but eventually they like, I don't know, like get engaged or get married and like move to the suburbs somewhere. Like
yeah.
somehow they just like leave. So you wouldn't think that it would, make sense for New York to be such a community, but it really is. Like everyone, I mean, there is some like Manhattan versus kind of like versus Brooklyn drama here and there, but like
Oh,
overall, I
let's.
think
Can we get into it? We got time. Come on, what's going on?
we have time. I'm down. Let's do it. Um, but overall, I'd say very much community centric. So I would agree with your mom's assessment.
Yes, I love it. She'll be listening, so I'm sure she'll be happy. So I just have one question for you. As someone who is a person of color in America, and being drag is such a thing that I feel like empowers a lot of people. Do you think that because you haven't been on Drag Race, do you think it's like when it comes to performing, like do the fans or the audience, do they always expect you to be on par with the level of the Drag Race girls, or because I know for a fact a lot of people in the UK, a lot of drag queens, they always complain about how a lot, like, because they haven't been on the show, because they haven't done Drag Race, people expect them to have this attitude or this performance level like people who've been on Drag Race. Can you explain a bit more about that? If it's
Yeah,
something that
yeah.
happens to you, yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. And that's I think where it gets interesting about Manhattan versus Brooklyn. So I'd say that's a very Manhattan kind of culture.
yeah,
Is like I feel like, and no, I feel bad because someone from Manhattan's gonna listen to this and be upset with me. But I feel like
disclaimer,
there's like caveat,
yeah,
no shade.
yeah,
But I feel like there's a, I my perception is, Manhattan culture is very like drag race and like when are you getting on drag race, and and as a result there's kind of a standard that you're held
yeah,
to, and this is where I think Brooklyn drag differs is they like we just have no structure, and I think we just have space to just be really messy and very experimental and kind of do like wacky stuff, like test out different makeup, and the Brooklyn drag scene is really special. You need to come visit me and I'll take
yeah,
you out. Well,
yes.
and like and at some point when we're out of this, hopefully, but
2024.
um,
Yes.
2024.
When the 802 has been sponsored by Matalan or whatever. So,
Hey,
when
I'm coming for
Yeah.
my coin. We've given them so much free promotion.
I know. Or Diet Coke. Someone's
No.
gonna sponsor us and send us away.
Yeah. Yeah. When when you're on Netflix, when you have like your Netflix special,
Oh my
um,
God, imagine.
We
can't wait
just
for
speak.
that.
Yes. Let's speak it to the gods, honey.
Yes, yes, amen.
Amen.
Like,
So before we let you
don't
go,
bring them into this. No.
before we let
Yes.
you go, I just have two last questions, two really quick ones. Firstly, I forgot to ask this right at the start as you boarded the 802. Nick, while I'm asking this question, I'm looking at you very strongly, okay? Because we've been through this and it should be sorted by now. Julian,
Yes.
did you get your complimentary peanuts as you came on the 802?
My complimentary penis? I mean, I would love that. Like, where do I pick it up?
Okay. Let me explain this real quick. So like on a coach service or a plane or train, they usually have like a little like trolley dolly coming down the aisle. It's like, do you want some complimentary peanuts or snacks? So usually the 802 guests get a complimentary packet of peanuts for their ride. But sadly, it was Dan's turn to give the peanuts out this week. So don't let him fool you. Julian, I'm very sorry you did not
Wow.
receive your peanuts. Until then, please send all hate mail, all disclaimers to Daniel Partington. Thank you very much.
Wow. Wow. Is it because I'm black?
Honey, why I gotta
Tell
be
the
black?
truth.
Why I gotta be black? Why I
Don't
gotta
lie
be
to me. I
black?
know what you're doing.
Why I gotta be black?
Oh, Jesus. Okay, well, we'll get the nuts issue sorted. But last question, and Julian, it's been so much fun having you on the show. I'm sad we don't have a whole 2 hours to go, but this is probably the most important question, and I think most listeners will want to know this. Just how cute am I in real life?
Oh my god.
Oh, delicious.
Thank you. So, if you don't know, Julian came to London for a year to study at my uni, and that's where we met. We have been friends ever since. We have seen each other in the best of times and the messiest of times.
We
I
love
think-
to see it.
But
It's been a fun ride, but no, I do remember, Dan, the first time seeing you, and I was like, "Who the fuck is that?" And this was before being friends with you, and now seeing your personality, I feel like that kind of wore off a little bit, but.
Oh, the read of the century. We love to
No,
see
but
it.
just kidding. I adore you, and
Yeah.
I'm so proud of what you're doing.
yeah, and just if anybody ever gets the chance to meet Julian in person, you just have to compliment how gorgeous his skin is. It's like you have just bathed in coconut oil for hours, and then he just glistens. He just glistens at every chance. Ugh, I hate you so much.
Hey, it's, what can I say? Rice Krispie treats and Marlboro menthols. That's my skincare routine.
Do not suggest smoking.
No.
How are we going to get sponsored by
smoking's
Diet
terrible.
Coke if we suggest smoking? The direct competitors.
I just ruined the show.
Oh my
You
god.
did. Well, we have loved having you here on the AO2. Thank you so much for coming on and being a
Yes.
guest on us.
Love to be here.
When everything, if everything ever goes back to normal, you can trust that me and Nick will be on a flight over to New York as soon as we can.
100%.
And you better take us out. We're going to look cute for it because we're not going to embarrass you in your own streets.
Yeah.
I am waiting for that day. I seriously can't wait for that day. Like, stay with me. Like, we'll go out. It'll be such a blast.
Amazing.
So yeah, let's do it.
Amazing.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Julian.
Love you. Thank you.
Thanks
you
for coming. See you
Bye.
soon. Bye.
See you.
Isn't he a treat?
Yes, that was lovely. That was really, really lovely.
Just
Ah.
one of the loveliest people. So open, so
Ah.
creative and interesting. And has a little baby dog called London.
Oh, that is so cute.
So cute. Anyway, guys, that's been the 802
Yes.
with me, your resident conductor, and Nick, the driver of this coach to hell.
Driving for dick.
Oh my god. So cool. Why
Don't
is she
worry.
on this show?
Don't worry. We got plans for Sophie on the show. Don't you fret. Don't you fret.
Cool. Well,
Don't you
guys,
fret.
this is the part where we make a little request from you. And lockdown 2's come in. We're all a bit bummed out. And what would really make the world just a bit of a brighter place is if you just left a little share. You just share.
Yeah. Just hit that
Shared.
share button.
You're listening to the podcast, share it on your story. You listen
You
to
feel
the
it.
podcast, put it in the group chat. You
Yeah.
enjoyed it. Let
Share it
the people know.
Share it with your 6 friends.
Yes! Yes! Oh, the rule of 6
Share
is
it
in
with your
effect.
6 friends.
We're only allowed 6. Okay. Actually, I guess we have to be 1 and 6, so we're only allowed 5.
Yeah,
I'm
so
gonna have to do some culls. I've got
Yeah.
7 friends. 2 of them are gonna have to go.
Oh, the chop. Oh, the chop.
Ah,
I'm sorry, my dear. You have to lip sync for the 6th position.
yeah. It's all right. I mean,
all
we know
right.
it'll be Troy. It's fine.
Oh my God, we love him, but a bitch's gotta go.
Speaking of, we should get out of here. You
Yes.
can follow the 802 podcast on the 802 podcast on Instagram and Twitter, and gmail.com. If you have a question for the back of the bus, which comes out every single Friday, you need to email that to the 802podcast at gmail.com, or you can just send it to as a DM to either me or Nick. You can
Yes.
find me at Dan James LDN on Instagram and Twitter.
And you can find me _Nick Charles on Twitter and nk.charles on Instagram. And if you really want to get into the messages, hit us up. It's the 802podcast at gmail.com. Don't forget, hit us a like, hit a subscribe, let us know. Just take the fucking content, because we're going to give it to you in lockdown, out of lockdown, after lockdown. You're going to get
We
it.
gave it to you in lockdown 1. We're
Yeah,
giving it
you're
to you
gonna-
in lockdown 2. We'll be here
And
for
beyond.
3, 4, and 5. Okay?
Amen.
We are the voice of lockdown now.
We are. So stay tuned, bitches, because stay locked and loaded.
Stay locked down, loaded down. We're all gonna have a good time. And hell, it's Christmas soon, and that'll be a thing that happens.
I know. But until then, it's been another great week of the 802, and we hope you guys enjoyed it. We hope you love it. And you know what? Keep safe, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.